There folks, today I've got something a little bit special. Basically, I'm going to do a bit of a tabletop of my UK legal carry collection. Now, these are legal to carry in the UK according to section 139. However, if you're misusing it, or you're in some of the big no-no areas, such as licensed premises, schools, police stations, hospitals, you're going to get done for having that period, unless you work in there and you're using it as a tool. So, I'm not a lawyer. Please always check your local knife laws and legislation. I'm not responsible at all for you carrying knives or getting done with them or whatever. Not responsible. This is how I interpret it. Because from what I can see, section 139 says clearly, as long as the blade, well, the cutting surface is under 3 inches. Everything on here is under 3 inches on the cutting surface. Some of these knives have been modified to be that way. I did leave my rebar out of this because I did a modification to the rebar. And from what I interpret, if you modify it, but it still has the capability to lock, if you was to remove the modification, then in my eyes, I think a judge would find you guilty. But having said that, let me begin. So, this is a UK legal box cutter. For those who don't know, this is probably, I'm guessing, a clone of the Spectrum Bioenergetics, I believe. If anyone's interested in any of these, I've probably already done a video on it. It will contain a link. So basically, this is a slip joint. It does not lock. As you can see, it goes onto the pin. I'm not going to slam this, it might hit my hands. There we are. No lock whatsoever. But it will not close on your finger because of this sort of semi-choil. I'll break it. There we are. Not destroy, but break the lock. So it's not closing on my hand. So now I've done it, I'm going to close it. Next, I've got the Manly Wasp. Now you can use this thumb stud, but it's really hard. So I think I'm just going to take it off. I don't want to modify the knife. This is the Crucible steel one in S90, as you can see. Made in Bulgaria. Now, for me, this is among one of the best. It's very non-threatening. I've compared it in previous videos to Swiss Army knife blades, because everyone knows what they look like, and it's just a bit meatier. So it's not going to close on your hand, because it's got a semi-choil cut out here, and it's got a really strong back spring. So, that's that done. So, this is the Spyderco UK PK, and this is the drop point, the leaf, sorry, I'm trying to think, my mind's gone blank. Basically, here's the fake variant. You get 2 different blade shapes. So this is the one I opted for. I don't know why, I just chose it. It was on Amazon. Quite a good steel, not the best. BD1, I like it, I've had no problems. Just for me, it's not my personal favourite, because I tend to opt for bushcrafty sort of knives if I can. So next, I've got the Bvrd Mini Peasant, and I've just made my own Puko style handles. I've not finished them. I am going to get the heavy duty one, grind that down, and make a better job of making some custom handles. I would recommend these because they're not going to close on your hand, no matter what. Because it's a friction folder, and I've just installed a bottle opener. Just used a Dremel, nothing special. This was absolutely massive when I ordered it. I didn't really realise how big it was. I imported it from AliExpress. As you can see, it's sort of a clone, sort of a Spyderco. But this is a friction folder. This is when I first started tinkering with knives a bit. And I just wanted to make this UK legal. Now I'd suggest from that scorching, I have possibly damaged the heat treat. which isn't a problem because I only paid probably about £7 for this. Next, these are very popular. They come in a 3-pack or singular. This is a Work Pro. Now I've modified this one. I gifted one to my dad for his birthday because he uses box cutters regularly for his job. Basically, I just wanted to have my own take on making a UK legal box cutter, because if you're using it a lot and you don't like sharpening, a box cutter is a good option because you just throw the blade away. What can be more easy? So I got this ages ago. It was a recommendation when I was part of a knife group. I deleted my Facebook and since then have not been able to find it. So I have made my own little UK legal knife group. And this is the Crudo. I think I paid £50. Now I believe it went up to about £80 and then it's pretty much obsolete from now. Steel/titanium scales. If I'm honest, I've never really liked it. I don't know why. It's just, it's made for baby hands in my opinion. So, not my favourite, but some people love it. This for me is another cracking blade. It's very hard to sharpen because the steel has a high Rockwell, I'm guessing. This is the CRKT Langmar Design 5. Heine Haints do a special edition, or did do, which was a lot cheaper but just in a red. You can still get these I believe, but you'll pay about £50 now. When I bought it, it cost nothing like that. Oh, special points. One of my most favourite choils. I like choils in the UK because it's not a lock-in mechanism, but there's no chance it's ever going to sever your tendons in your fingers. So for me, that's in the Hall of Fame. So, next, CRKT. Now these come with locking pins, but I've removed mine so that I don't accidentally take it with me. Now, if that has the capability to lock, I would possibly suggest the police will arrest you and you'll get charged accordingly. So, this is the Journeyer. This is another popular at the time. Quite a good choil. It's still not going to close on you. Fits a large to extra large hand quite comfortably. And it's been a good knife. Klecker Cordovan UK legal variant. Now, this has a locking... Well, it's not locking. It's got a detent bar, I would call it. So, without gripping it, it closes. You can flip it. I love this knife. I used it a lot when I got it. I've just changed my opinion to using more bushcrafty style blades. Bit better steel, NT03A, made by Klecker Knives. For me, this is brilliant and I don't know why more people haven't heard of it or don't have one. When I saw it on Heine Haints ages ago, when it had pretty much first came out, I bought it straight away. Very bling bling looking. Right. Now up to some of... Now, although these are UK legal, I am going to say this. I do think you're going to get bother with them. Regardless. Just because of how big they are. So, this is the Boca World legal. I have had a mess around with this, as you can see. I wouldn't recommend it. It will close on your hands. And it will chop your tendons, as you can see. So, very strong detent, but I still don't trust it. Awful pocket clip. The reason I call it awful is because it shows it's not very discreet. That's my only opinion. I like them to be very discreet, despite the fact I'm lawfully carrying it. I want it to be discreet and I don't want the world to know about it, just because it might upset someone and I don't want to do that. So, next. This is the Boca XS, and this is the clip point, I believe. They do a drop point now, which I wish they did when I bought this, because I'd have the drop point instead. I've seen people snapping these points. God knows how they do that. Basically, if you want to play around with the knife tip, just use a pry bar. Hall of Fame mention for It literally has one of the best choils. Look, there's just no way on this earth that's going to close on me. You could really hard use it. I'm a large glove size. I can grab 4 inches on a ruler. This easily fits my hand. One hand opening, quite easily. Only downside is, they need to sort that pocket clip, it's rubbish. This is a modified Bvrd peasant. I've ground it down to make it UK legal. And then I'm going to change the scales later. I've already done a video on this previously. It came locking, but I've bent it away. So it's not capable of locking. But it's not going to close on my finger. So, the bushcrafty sort of knives I would call these. These two are both Whitby knives. I've had no problem with either of them, apart from I had to clean that one because it was grinding a little. I think if you're a camping bushcrafty kind of person and you don't have a big budget, this would be a good option. The cheapest chips. This one's particularly smooth in the pocket. So, these are probably my favourite, for me personally. These are both TBS bore. I bought this one and I dropped it and I dinted it. It really upset me, so I've retired it. And I believe you have to oil these, so if I'd have known that, I probably wouldn't have bought that in the first place. I'd have just got the micarta. This is bomb proof. As you can see, I love it because I've made this, in my opinion, nice lanyard. This is a pruner type blade. It was one of the first UK legals I bought. I've no respect for it. It's poorly made, not happy, so I'm not even going to talk about it. This is another great classic. This is a Rough Rider. This is the Barlow, and this is the bone pattern. I love these. These are a great budget starter knife. So over here we've just got what I would call multi-tools. So this is a SOG power tool. I've already done a video on these. I don't like it, never have done. I don't think it's good. If you want a big hard use multi-tool that doesn't lock, Ganzo 201B or similar. I don't think you can beat that. That's just my opinion. Leatherman Kick. These are discontinued, which is a cracking, well, not cracking, it's a terrible shame. They need to start doing these again. This is a Boca. This is carbon fibre. I've already done a video on this. I like this. I just personally don't carry it. I don't know why. That leads me to the top row. So here we are. That's the Evo. Don't like it. I shall just mention my favourites. For ones that do not print in the pocket, I have to have a saw because it's my personal preference. I think the Farmer or the Camper with custom scales is probably one of the best. The Ranger is also good, just very big. So here are all Chinese import clones. I'm not going to give too much attention to them. If you want to know anything about them, please comment and I'll explain further. Obviously that's a clone of the Spyderco Pits, and that's a clone of the Spyderco UK PK. So guys, thanks for your time. Please comment if you're interested in any of them. Like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.